This video is brought to you by 28 Mobile. What's up everybody, this is Danny and today I'm going to be unboxing and giving you my first impressions on the brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. This phone will be available on all major carriers, but it's available unlocked now at 28mobile.com, so if you're interested, I will leave a link in the description section below. Out of all of these Samsung phones, the Note series is probably my favorite, and I was really excited when this got announced because it has a lot of new improvements here, including fast charging, a new Quad HD display, and also a new camera with optical image stabilization. What are we waiting for? Let's see what comes inside of the box. Now, this is the white version. It does come in several different colors, so make sure you pick the color that you like, and I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side and show you what else comes in this box. This is the international model, so your unboxing experience might be a little bit different. You get the quick start guide, you also get some earbuds for these headphones right here, pretty typical headphones for Samsung devices. You also get a S Pen tip remover and also some extra tips just in case your S Pen messes up. And you also get a micro USB to USB cord, and that's pretty typical of most Android devices today. But what is not typical is that you get some adaptive fast charging here. This is very similar to the Oppo Find 7's VOOC charging, and it basically charges your phone, I think 50% in 30 minutes. The battery gets a slight improvement here at 3220 milliamp hours. With the Note 3, I was able to get a full day, no problem, so the Note 4 should be the same. I'll definitely let you know in the full review. Let's go ahead and peel that sticker off of the front, something very satisfying about that, and also let's peel the sticker off the back of the camera. There's a little notch there on the side which allows you to peel that back cover off of the Note 4 and exposes the micro SIM card slot and also the micro SD card expansion slot, which allows you to expand your memory up to 128 gigabytes more, and it comes with 32 gigabytes of internal storage. So let's go ahead and pop that battery in and replace this back cover, and let's start looking a little deeper into this Note 4. A lot of you like to see the first boot, so while I'm booting this thing up, I'm going to talk about the specs a little bit. Now, this is the Exynos Samsung Octa-core version, but most of the markets will get the Snapdragon 805 processor with 3 gigabytes of RAM and the Adreno 420 GPU. This one has the Mali T760 GPU, and I will test that out also in the full review. While the internals are very important, probably the biggest change about the Note 4 is the materials that it's built out of, and this is the first Note series with a metal band on the outside. So let's do a quick hardware tour of the Note 4. Up top, you will see the 3.5mm headphone jack, the noise canceling mic, and also an IR blaster to control your TV with. On the right side, you will see a tactile power button, and that's exactly where I like it, and it's placed in a good position. And on the bottom, you will see the micro USB port, the microphones, and also the S Pen. On the left side, you will see the volume rocker switch, and just like the Samsung Galaxy Alpha, you will see the nice chamfered edges, and it looks very nice on this device. On the back, you get a brand new 16 megapixel camera sensor that is capable of 4K video recording, and also now included is optical image stabilization. And right below that, you get a single LED flash along with the heart rate sensor that you saw on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, the faux leather returns here, but you see no stitching on the outside, so it looks a lot more elegant, and you only get a single speaker on the back of this phone. Below the display is a very familiar setup with the home button, which doubles as a fingerprint scanner, and also two capacitive buttons that flank the side, which is a multitasking button and also a back button. Above the display, you get a 3.7 megapixel front-facing camera capable of 1080p video recording and your appropriate sensors and your earpiece. Here is the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 up against the Apple iPhone 6 Plus, and I'm sure this will be a very popular comparison for a lot of people who will be trying to choose between these two if you want a larger display on your smartphone. Just for quick comparison, if you stack them up against each other, the iPhone 6 Plus is thinner than the Note 4, and the iPhone 6 Plus got a lot of flack about having that protruding camera, but the Note 4 definitely wins the protruding camera trophy here, because look at how much that sticks out above the body. But I will have a full comparison between these two devices on my channel, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. I've heard of some people complaining about a big gap in between the display and the metal band of the Note 4, but I don't really see it. And as you can see here, it's not very noticeable. I don't find it to be a problem whatsoever, but I know some people were reporting it. The rain is going to take me inside, so let's go ahead and take a look at the brand new pen features and also the software of the brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. Before we dive into the software, let's take a look at the screen here. This is a 5.7-inch Quad HD display that brings it to 515 pixels per inch, and it looks absolutely beautiful. We'll get into a little bit more about the display in just a second, but you can see that this is running Android and it is running their familiar TouchWiz interface on top of Android, and this looks very similar to what you saw on the Samsung Galaxy S5 with a few minor tweaks here. Now what's great is it's running Android 4.4.4, which is the latest version of Android available right now, and the Android L update is coming very soon. Well, at least we know they're working on it because of some of the recent leaks, but the UI here is running very buttery smooth on the octa-core processor. Most of the time the octa-core processor lags behind the Snapdragon in performance, so here I really can't tell. And also some of the greatest features of TouchWiz are here, like dual window. I love this. This is probably one of the best features of this large display because you can run two apps side by side. Ultra power saving mode is here also as well, just in case you need to squeeze a little bit more juice out of your Note 4. And there is a new card multitasking view here that we haven't seen before, and you just swipe to either side to get rid of it, or you can just hit that X right down below and it can kill all of the apps. I'm not the hugest fan of TouchWiz, but it's here. So Geekbench 3, if you're wondering about benchmarks, it gets a 3876 on multi-core and also gets a 1166 on single core. Not too bad. The Note series is known for its pen capabilities, and even though I don't use the pen very much on the Note series, the pen is improved and there are a few new features. So let me show you a few of them. The first one I'm going to talk about is Smart Select, and it makes it very easy for you to grab images off the web just like this and actually organize them. As you can see, it puts them into their own floating folder right up top, and you can use that for any kind of projects that you want. Now my other favorite is Image Clip. See here how I circled this rectangular picture here? Now you can go up top and hit transform to rectangle and watch what it does. That's awesome. It takes the entire image in that rectangle. That's very intuitive, and I can see that being very, very helpful. Of course, you can take a screenshot of anything and write notes all over it, so Note users should be very familiar with this. And there are a lot of other features as well on this pen that I can't cover in this video because there's just so many of them. But one of my favorites is where you can select block of text now with the pen, so that should be very useful. So I'm not a huge pen user, as I was saying before, but maybe some of these new features may make me use the pen a little more, so I'll cover that in the full review. The reason I want to revisit the display is because I think it's one of the most important aspects of the Note series itself, because it's got such a big, beautiful screen, and this time it's been up to a Quad HD display at 1440 by 2560, and it has 515 pixels per inch, and it's very sharp, as you can see. Nice and vibrant colors, and it could be a little bit brighter in the sunlight, but man, this is a gorgeous looking display. Some people might not like the saturation on it, but the one thing I did notice is there's a little bit of color shifting when you're viewing it at off-axis angles. So if you look at it a little bit, you can see the colors change and shift a little bit. But let me tell you, the off-axis viewing angles, some of the best that I've ever seen. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. Like I said, it could be a little bit brighter outside, but it is a great looking display. Now also the glass kind of sits above it a little bit. It has a little bit of a curve to it, so it does feel better when you're swiping through the home screen there, but you're still going to feel the metal a little bit because it's not completely rounded like the iPhone 6 is, but it's definitely an improvement over the Note 3. I'm going to look at one more thing before I go, and that is the camera. The software is very similar to the Galaxy S5, where you can see the different modes. You can download different ones. The focus is just as fast as it is on the Samsung Galaxy S5, or maybe a little bit better, and the shutter speed is also fast. The biggest thing about this camera is that it now features optical image stabilization, one of the first in a flagship phone for Samsung, and the 16 megapixel is the highest resolution, and also the video size is Ultra HD, which is 4K, so I'm definitely going to make a separate video on that to show you the 4K capabilities of the Note 4. I am going to give you a few samples though of the images and video from the Note 4 in this video, and as you can see, it can take some great looking pictures, especially in good light. But the one thing that I did notice is sometimes there's some saturation and color issues, especially when you're trying to go into macro, and it does tend to overexpose pictures a lot, and so hopefully they can fix this in a firmware update. The one thing I do like is the HDR mode. As you can see, look at how much more detail that pulls out of the HDR mode without being too aggressive, so I like that. So I'm gonna have to test the low light conditions a little bit more. Here's some low light pictures during a storm, and it looks pretty good, but you can see some noise creeping up there, so I'll definitely test it a little bit more in the full review. The 4K video looks very similar to what it does on the Note 3 and on the Samsung Galaxy S5. It tends to overexpose a little bit under macro conditions, but the great thing here is that there is continuous autofocus when you are taking video. And sometimes it struggles here to get focus on certain objects, but what's awesome is that the focus is very soft and it doesn't jump around like it does on some of the other devices. As you can see, it's a very smooth transition. So look at this right here. See, it focuses in very softly, and the optical image stabilization is doing very well because this is handheld, this is not on a tripod or anything, and you can see the focus goes right in very softly, so you can get some usable video with the optical image stabilization and that continuous autofocus. Here's a sample of me walking with the Note 4 to test the optical image stabilization. As you can see, it's working pretty well. Yeah, the video is a little bit shaky, but it's doing a pretty good job of stabilizing this camera, so I'm pretty impressed with it so far. Alright guys, well that does it for me with this extensive first look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So let me know what you want to see in the full review. I can't wait to test this out a little bit more, and make sure you hit me up on Twitter at SuperScientific with any questions, for I'm reachable there almost all of the time. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new to it for more high quality content like this, and thank you for watching guys. I think that this is the Note that a lot of people have been waiting for, and with the specs, the build quality, the screen, I think this might be the one that people have been waiting for. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.